حي على الفلاح.
Ask Allah to open the doors for me. If after a certain time the doors are not opening, and I ask Allah to grant me the opening of the doors, if it is better for me and the doors are not opening, consider it a sign from Allah for you to move on in life. That's what the dua of istikhara is all about. We ask Allah, oh Allah, if this is good for me, better for me, make it easy for me, open it for me, grant me barakah in it. And if it's not good for me, not good for my hereafter, close the doors, block it. Turn me away from it, turn it away from me, and make me happy with the fact that you have not given it to me. There goes. You see the dua of istikhara? It says, فَاصْرِفْهُ عَنِّي وَاصْرِفْنِي عَنْهُ. Oh Allah, turn us away if it's not good for me. So the door is closed, the other door is closed, another door is closed, 6 months pass, a year passes, 2 years pass. You know what? It's about time for you to recognize that these doors are not going to open. If there is no light, things are getting worse, then you are to blame to just sit back and keep saying, Allah will open, Allah will open, Allah will open. Allah can open and will do whatever He wishes, but He has also given you a brain, a mind, a capacity. He has given you the energy, the capacity, the understanding to do something about a situation. So if you are unable, you make dua, you wait for some time, you see what's happening, and you make a decision and you move on. And then don't look back and cry over spilt milk. 20 years later, you tell your husband or your wife, you know what? 25 years ago, I was supposed to marry someone else, but I ended up marrying you. Huh. Well, why didn't you? You see. Too late. Don't talk like that. MashaAllah. Don't talk like that. What was meant to be 25 years back, you know what? Your wife will come back with a line. What's the line? Well, you should have married her then, isn't it? There goes. Allah grant us goodness. Just as you think you're fed up, she's probably even more fed up. No, my brothers and sisters, we talk like this. But in actual fact, the reality on the ground, no matter who you marry, there will be sacrifice that is required. You need to be patient. You need to work on your spouse. You need to sacrifice, and you need to invest in your relationship. Otherwise, it's not going to help. Invest in it. You might see and reap fruits after 2 years, 5 years. Don't just give up because a few minutes went wrong. The first few months went slightly rocky. No. You don't just give up, you work on it, you invest. Today we have a habit of giving up. A lot of people, if they've given up without having tried, they come out of it and later they regret, I should have tried. I should have worked harder. Obviously, I'm not talking about those who've been in something toxic, unbelievable, because today's world, there are some things that are happening that are so absurd. You wonder if actually the person is speaking the truth or not. But then you have to believe them because you're hoping they wouldn't lie. And you start learning that look what's going on earth. So if it's really toxic and really unbelievably terrible, you can get out of it almost instantly, no problem. But for minor things, a little sacrifice here and there, some form of, you didn't call my mother and you didn't phone this person and we didn't go there on the day of Eid and I didn't like this, and you know, you didn't, you had one bite more from the burger and so on. There are minor things, come on guys. MashaAllah, may Allah bless you and all of us. So let's understand the size of the problem. And then remember, if Allah's given you the capacity to do something, use that capacity to do something. Engage in beautiful discussion. Talk to others, perhaps speak to respectable people, or give it some time. Maybe you'd like to address the matter in this way or that way. You know better your situation. And after a certain time, you can make a better decision, or a decision that you probably wouldn't regret. So with the help of Allah, remember, you pray, and you should know in your heart that Allah Almighty will grant me an opening, and Allah Almighty will definitely solve my problem and resolve it in the same way that He's resolved the matters of so many others. The stories in the Quran are not there for no reason. They are there for us to learn lesson. Yusuf alayhi salam, I just mentioned his father, Yaqub. He says, أَعْلَمُ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. He says, go back, look for your brother. I know something you people don't know. Allah's promise. Look at the other messengers. Ibrahim alayhi salam, what struggles did he go through? So many. Enough, so many. Subhanallah. Did he give up? No. Today we mention him with the best of mentions. Amazing Ibrahim alayhi salam. Amazing Prophet of Allah, the father of the prophets. Abul Anbiya, that's what he's called. The father of the prophets. Because he had children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and all those to follow from his progeny, mashallah. Did he go through struggles? Yes, he did. If we had to gauge his success based on what we gauge success with today, we would have said, this man is a failure. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Because how many accepted his message? Look at the Prophet Noah. We speak about him, we talk about him, not just us, the Jews and the Christians too. And they know his sacrifice. It is reported that in 950 years, between 11 and 80 people accepted his message. What's the success rate there? Almost nil. Do you agree? 950 years, 11 people accepted. Come on, that's the lowest figure. The highest figure, 80. Let's say 80. For every 100 years, not even 10 people. What's the success rate there? A year passes, not one person turned. And he's a prophet of Allah, and he's helped by Allah, and the angel Jibreel comes, and whatever else happens, and subhanallah. How was success measured? He was the most successful ever at the time. So success is not measured by what people think all the time. Did you do the right thing? Yes, I did. Well, you've succeeded by the will of Allah. Did you go through your struggles? You thanked Allah? Yes, I did. Well, Allah's chosen struggles for you. And they're tailor-made based on your capacity. He knows that by going through this, you will arrive at a new level. We've become stronger. We've become better. You see, you have a puncture. For the first time, you're driving and you think to yourself, what am I going to do? You start panicking. Don't panic. Don't panic. Get off and inshallah you will be able to repair. Change the tire perhaps. You might want to use one of those sprays where it inflates your tire once again. For a while you can move until you get to the nearest service station. The next time it happens, will you panic as much as you panicked the first time? The answer is no. Why? Allah's already strengthened you. The third time it happens, been there, done that. The fourth time you're driving with someone, it happens to them for the first time, but you're in the car. What do you tell them? You just wait, sit here, I'll sort it out 5 minutes and we can carry on. What happened? Who strengthened you? Allah strengthened you by allowing you to taste it 3 times. Now you're an expert. You might decide, I'm so good at this, let me open a garage where I can repair tires. How did it start? It started with something you thought was a disaster. It's a simple example. You can give that example anywhere. So not everything negative that happens is actually negative. It's the beginning of something positive perhaps. It depends how you look at it. You seize the opportunity. I know of a brother who told me once that, my business that I have, and it was a multi-million-dollar business. He says, it's the result of a motor vehicle accident I made with someone. The two of us got talking and it resulted in us doing a deal, and the deal went so well that we decided to go more and more. I said, what happened to the vehicles? He said, you don't even want to hear the story. Today they have a fleet each, subhanallah. How did it start? Because we made an accident. Now, today when you make an accident, they take out, well, I don't know about this country, but where I come from, South Africa, perhaps they would take out their guns and they would start screaming and shouting. One might fire in the air to say, you are this. Come on. Why don't you just talk about something else? You might strike a deal and you might end up also a multimillionaire with a fleet in 10 years' time. Could happen. Allah allows you to meet people. For you, it's a coincidence. For him, it's not a coincidence. Today, I'm standing in front of you, not coincidentally. It was planned and designed by Allah. So don't allow things to sadden you when you know you have your Lord with you. Even if you're weak, you have your Lord with you because you know you are trying. People struggle with their faith. And they think they're the only ones struggling with their faith because it might be apparent that they're struggling with their faith. Did you know that sometimes those who appear to be very religious are also struggling with their faith in a bigger way? That struggle is between them and Allah. They will come. Don't give up. And don't allow your struggle to make you think that you are abandoned by your Lord and that He doesn't love you and that you are not worth it. You are worth it. You are definitely worth it. You're breathing, there is hope. You're alive, there is hope. Turn to your Maker. Develop a better relationship with Him. You know you're standing. Seek forgiveness every day for the sins you commit. Don't give up hope. Thank you so much for listening to this short message. I pray that it has increased you in a little bit of motivation and hope, and the same applies to all of us. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.